What up, good people? You are tapped into the Grapes and Grit podcast. Let's go. All right, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the Grapes and Grit podcast. Head on over to grapesandgrit.com. That's grapes in with the N, grit.com to check out the brand and connect with us. We are also on IG at Grapes and Grit. Shout out to our partners, Galva Agency LLC, as well as Omni Cosmetics LLC. All right, let's get to it. So, I'm super excited to be in front of this camera because you are a part of history. I'm a part of history. This marks the very first in the history of mankind, the very first episode of Grapes and Grit. Come on, let's give ourselves a round of applause for that. Oh man, I'm so happy. I'm so happy to be here in front of this camera, man. It's definitely been a journey. Most people that know me, they know that naturally I'm not a camera person. I hate being in front of the camera. I'm actually very uncomfortable in this seat, to be honest. But just after, just years and years of just experiencing life. And then also, a bunch of my people, just kind of pushing me and trying to get me to start a podcast and not even necessarily just start a podcast, but just share, more of my my thought processes, my techniques, and certain information that I do have with other people. They've really been behind me trying to get me to do more of that. So here you are. For everybody that was asking and requesting, we're here. All right. So matter of fact, give yourselves a hand for pushing me to get here. All right. All right. So today's episode is about growth. Okay. What is growth, right? Growth in itself it's at the very foundation of human existence, right? We were created from nothing and literally made into something. Our very civilization is structured around economic growth, personal growth, technological growth, and even just in general evolutionary growth. And it is undoubtedly one of our most powerful tools if used properly, right? It also can serve as one of the most detrimental factors if not nurtured. So, ultimately, growth is one constant that we literally cannot live without. All right, so some people dream of success while other people get up every morning and make it happen. That is a quote from Wayne Huizinga. All right. Before we jump in, make sure you beautiful people like, comment, and subscribe to the Grapes and Grit podcast. Head on over to grapesandgrit.com to check out the brand and connect with us. We are also on IG, handle Grapes and Grit. Shout out to our partners once again, Galva Agency LLC, as well as Omni Cosmetics LLC. All right. So it starts with your mindset, right? It starts with your mindset. You have to embrace the journey of starting from somewhere. All right. You have to embrace the journey of starting from somewhere. Genesis 1:1, it simply says, in the beginning, God made from nothing the heavens and the earth. And that may sound extremely simplistic. However, it's so much power in that verse, just simply because it lets you know that even God started from somewhere. right? And that should be enough to motivate us all to just keep pushing forward and just embrace the journey of starting from somewhere, you know? Do I have any morning people? That's in the grapes and grit family. Me personally, I am a morning person, right? I wake up and I just have this crazy ball of energy. You can ask my wife and my baby boy. Shout out to y'all for being my support system. I love you both. But you can ask them, like, I wake up and I'm turned up. You dig? I'm playing music. I'm hopping around the house. I laughed about this the other day because I was trying to get dressed because I was running late. But we have a routine, and my wife, she takes our baby boy, who just turned one, on the 17th of last month. So shout out to him. Happy birthday again, baby boy. We love you. She takes him into the kitchen, and he eats, right? He eats, he drinks before he gets dressed for the day. Now me, my crazy self, I'm running late and I'm getting dressed, so I am, I'm trying to put my pants on. I got one leg on, one leg off, and I'm hopping into the living room from the master bedroom just so I can be a part of the mix. Because again, we like to play music in the beginning of the day, just to kind of get things, off to a great start. And I'm hopping in the living room just so I can try to be a part of the mix and make baby boy laugh. He always gets a kick out of seeing me hopping on one leg for whatever reason. So, but again, I can approach every day, every morning like that, just simply because I'm embracing what's ahead of me. Like I'm so excited to experience whatever it is that life and my destiny has in store for me, for that particular day, right? I'm a firm believer that you do not have bad days, right? You do not have bad days just simply because every day that you wake up is a blessing, right? Everything could just go off the rails the entire day. And I promise you, I will come home and I will sleep peacefully just simply because I was so excited and happy to be blessed with the opportunity to even have a quote unquote bad day, right? So I really do think it starts, with your mindset, right? And as you start your day, and you're taking W's and you're taking L's, you really also have to believe that your whatever achievements that you acquire throughout your day, right? It encompasses effort, not just inherent talent, right? And I think that's so vital in this idea of trying to just consistently grow, right? You have to embrace and understand the fact that your achievements encompass effort, right? You can't, like, for instance, an athlete, right? You can't be successful in the NBA or the NFL, or any other professional sports league without putting in the work, right? You may have the natural talent, you may have the natural ability, right? We all have some sort of thing, right? Like some sort of thing that God has blessed us with that is unique to us specifically. But you know, you have to put the work in. Like you have to, same thing with just, being an intelligent individual, right? Like the only way you're intelligent is if you study, right? You have to put in the effort to read your books, do your research online, and become a more knowledgeable person. Artists, performers, like the same thing goes. So you have to believe that your achievements encompass effort, and if you really take a step back and really embrace that concept, you will go so much further. You will go so much further in life, right? And then you also have to be willing to learn from the mistakes, right? And find value in those mistakes, as well as find value in any criticism that you may receive. from those mistakes. Every single day it brings trials and tribulations, and every single day it also brings joy, right? But you have to be willing to learn from your mistakes. You have to just approach it from the perspective of, okay, I messed up. I probably could have done that a little bit better. But what have I learned from this shortcoming? Like, what have I learned from taking this L? You make a mental note of that, and then you apply it the next time you try to achieve whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. And then just kind of touching on, the criticism, right? Criticism is okay. Criticism is okay. I know so many people that as soon as somebody says anything or voices their opinion about something that they have done, whether good or bad, they just automatically get into a very, very defensive mode, when in reality you should be trying to search and find the value in whatever it is that external source is telling you, right? Because again, we're not perfect, right? So we can't, there's no way for us to be able to see our perspective as well as see things from another perspective from the outside looking in. And that's why it's so important to have, support and have a village around you that will, just hold you accountable during this process of growth, right? Growth takes some pruning sometimes, it takes some hits, it takes some hits. But at the end of the day, you will be better for it. All right. And then, another thing that I've learned over the years is, in order to grow, you have to live to give, right? And I'm gonna say that again because I think that's so vital, right? You have to live to give. I can't I can't count on a million fingers how many times I've seen someone prosper simply because they all they wanted to do was help. Period. All they wanted to do was help. All they wanted to do was give. All they wanted to do was be a part of somebody else's growth, right? Leviticus 23 and 22, it simply says, when you reap the harvest of your land, do not reap the very edges of your field or gather the gleanings of your harvest. Leave them for the poor and for the foreigner residing among you. I am the Lord your God. Sowing into others causes growth in your life, and it's that simple. All right. Your harvest is not meant just for you. Your harvest is not meant just for you. Your harvest is meant to supply for a multitude. Okay. If you receive $100 in your mind, you should already be prepared to say, okay, I'm going to give, $5 of that, $10 of that, $20 of that to, somebody that really needs it, right? Whether it's like a homeless person or whether, you pay for somebody's meal randomly while you're out at a fast food place or at a restaurant, right? But living to give, again, it is a fundamental element of growth. All right. My father is a great example. Shout out to Pops. He is the pastor of Silver Lake Church in Pearland, Texas. And he's been doing this for a very, very long time. And what I've noticed is throughout my entire life, I've had conversations with people, right, from all walks of life, right, wealthy, not wealthy, ball players, lawyers, people that work at Chick-fil-A, right, and whenever my father comes up, they literally all say the same thing. And they all say that he is one of the most giving individuals that they have ever met. And they can visibly see why he prospers. And I think that is so very important for people to understand, right? The more you give, the more you receive, right? And the less that you look to receive, the more you will receive. All right. I've seen this man give people the shirt off his back, right? Just in the name of humanity, of being a believer, right? Of trying to be as Christ-like as humanly possible. And nobody's perfect. He's not perfect. I'm not perfect. Nobody on this earth is perfect, but God knows your heart. God knows your heart, and he implores us to be givers. That's what he wants. All right. So just think about that. All right. Just think about that. Live to give. Okay. Now, another thing that I want to touch on regarding growth is the fact that it takes humbleness to grow. It takes humbleness to grow. We are all extraordinary, right? We all have greatness instilled within us. And, it's that very power that should allow us to be humble in our greatness, knowing that you're not the only one that's capable. And that's just being realistic, right? Ephesians 3:19 and 20, it says, pray that you will know. I pray that you will know the Lord, the love of Christ. His love goes beyond anything we can understand. I pray that you will be filled with God himself. God is able to do much more than we ask or think through his power working in us, right? There is one you, but there is a million people that can do what you do. God does not need you. And that's just being frank about it, right? God does not need you. And I feel like God has made it completely clear that he's within us. So he's given us the power. He's given us the tools that we need to thrive in this life, right? As well as the next. But he's also made it clear who gave us that power. So that's why I say you should be able to be humble in your greatness. Like we're all great. We're all kings and queens of the Most High. We all are his children. But again, you are not the only one that can do what God needs you to do for the betterment of his kingdom. All right. So just keep that in mind, man. There is one you. I'm gonna say that again. There is one you. You are unique. You are uniquely made, but you are not the only one that can do what you can do. All right. So there's a reason. There's a reason plants grow upwards, right? There is something called phototropism. Phototropism is a directional response that allows plants to grow towards, or in some cases away from, a source of light. All right. Plants grow towards the sun to generate energy by photosynthesis. In other words, they know where their source comes from. And we all should be looking to God to be our light, to be our source. And it's all about placement. God has strategically placed every single person on this earth wherever they are, whether you're in Honolulu, whether you're in Houston, whether you're in California, whether you are a sales clerk, whether you're a lawyer, a doctor. God has specifically placed a divine path for you to walk. And he always has his reasonings for doing that, right? But the only way for us to clearly walk in the path that God has for us is for us to grow towards him, right? If you don't grow in God, then you will be lost. You know, you hear it all the time about how, wealthy people, or some wealthy people rather, they may have all of the riches and the fame and all of that good stuff, but then you wake up and you see them on the news for committing suicide or something like that, right? That's growing away from the source. You may have the money, you may have the cars, but at the end of the day, the only thing that can truly fulfill you is God. And it's that simple. All right. So my question to you is, do you truly want your harvest, or do you more so want the perks that you think comes with having the harvest? All right. Your intentions can make or break you. Most people see the nice internet photos of cornfields full of corn, but don't see the process, that farmers have to go through in order to reap the harvest. Psalms 107, 37 and 38 says, they sowed fields and planted vineyards that yielded a fruitful harvest. He blessed them, and their numbers greatly increased, and he did not let their herds diminish. God wants you to be prosperous. God wants you to be prosperous, but you have to get your intentions in order. If your intentions are misplaced, God will not sow into your life in the way that you desire him to. And it's that simple. I want to leave you with something. Self-gain is not the wave. Selflessness is the key. All right. I'm going to say that again. Self-gain is not the wave, but selflessness is the key. All right. Thank you for tapping in to the first ever Grapes and Grit podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope that you are motivated to grow. I hope that you are motivated to live to give. I hope that you are motivated to shift your mindset, practice humbleness, and watch the harvest grow. All right. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the Grapes and Grit podcast. Head on over to grapesandgrit.com to check out the brand and connect with us. Also, shout out to our partners, Galva Agency LLC, as well as Omni Cosmetics LLC. All right. Until next time, growth, strength, and longevity is the wave. See you soon.